Alright, I'm back with a collection video. It's been a while, and so I just thought I'd go ahead and do one. Today's shelf section is what I call the nature run amok or animal horror. And some of this stuff, the way I've got it situated is out of necessity just because of space. Most of these I kind of play fast and loose with that category just because it fits well in a section by itself, rather than having it in science fiction or fantasy or horror, which creates just huge, long rows of films. I just created this subgenre of nature run amok, but a number of these films probably should go in a different section. But anyway, that's the way I got it. And so here we go. First up is At the Earth's Core. Really, I saw this in the theaters, and it was a fun. I mean, it's really for kids, but it's for the kids and all of us. You know, man, it's just a great movie. Carolyn Monroe is looking ravishing in it, and of course Peter Cushing is fantastic. Doug McClure is in this. It's a classic European kaiju film, if you will. I definitely highly recommend it. And this release has a decent set of special features and commentary tracks, so it's a nice release from Kino. Next up is Bait in 3D. So I've got all my shark attack movies in the nature run amok section. 3D was pretty decent in this. It's not a great film, but it's a decent time waster. Now here's a film I enjoyed. It's a slow burn, but when it gets to the point where it's action oriented, it's pretty scary to me. It is anyway. But that's called Back Country. A couple people and they get attacked by a bear, and it really, the bear attack is freaking off the cuff. I liked it a lot. Then I've got a signed copy of Bear. And this one's not as good, but I appreciate the indie filmmaking effort that these guys put into this. It's a little signed edition of Bear. Next up, I believe this is an Australian release. This is Black Sheep. Ridiculous, hilarious movie. Funny as hell. I enjoyed it. Everybody should check out Black Sheep. Then we've got, I believe, a Vinegar Syndrome release of The Bees, which is another film that I grew up on. Kind of a slow burn today, but it's an interesting watch. It comes in that whole period in the mid-'70s when nature run amok films were just as prevalent as zombie films, really. You know. Then I've got I need to upgrade this, an old Burn on Demand release of Ben. I mean, this is way before the new release came out from Shout or Scream Factory. I've definitely got to upgrade that. Day of the Animals. If you haven't seen Day of the Animals, I can definitely recommend this one as well. And this is a nice Scorpion release with quite a bit of special features to it. Then I've got an old MGM Midnight Movies double feature of The Empire of the Ants and Tentacles. Joan Collins is hilarious in Empire of the Ants. And Tentacles is Tentacles I saw at a drive-in. It's a little long. I think they could have cut it down a little bit. It would have been better. Another two classic films that, again, I saw in the theaters and a drive-in. I saw Food of the Gods in the theater, and then I remember seeing Frogs in the drive-in, and it scared the crap out of me. I mean, you're out in the open in the drive-in environment, and those frogs are starting to kind of come towards the house. Well, of course I was a kid, but I mean, it definitely resonated with me, both those films. And this is a decent release, good special features, interviews, so nice release from Shout Factory on that. Oh, I got 2 copies of Jaws 2. I need to sell one of those. Yeah, there's Jaws 2. Jaws 3. the original Jaws, which I saw in the theaters, and this movie when it first came out, not with a lot of because at the time, really, Steven Spielberg was really an unknown for most average moviegoers back when Jaws came out, and really when Jaws came out, you didn't hear a lot about it. But man, once it hit the theaters, oh my gosh! I mean, word of mouth spread. I remember seeing it in a packed. I mean, it was totally packed theater. And when they got to the scene where the head falls out from the hull of the boat, the whole crowd just went ballistic. It was great. I mean, lines for miles. Once it hit the theater, man, lines for miles for Jaws. Jaws: The Revenge. Now I've got an old DVD release of Jaws. More Jaws. Here's an underrated movie, another one I saw in the theater, and that's Orca with Richard Harris. Very good, a very underrated film. And I remember the stink. A lot of the critics in the newspapers really made a stink about the baby whale part in the first part of the movie. It was a huge deal back then. Roger Corman, the classics, Piranha. Everybody needs to have a copy of Piranha in their collection. Then I got the remake Piranha. And Piranha 3DD. And very fun to watch them with 3D glasses. Massive boobs. Here's the Arrow release. Awesome release for Squirm. Love this movie. And this is a loaded release from Arrow. Blu-ray, DVD, combo, and then a booklet. Everybody should have that in their collection. Slugs, and I do have the new Blu-ray release. It's in the unwatched pile, but here's the old release. Slugs. Here's another film that resonated with me as a kid. Saw it in the theater, loved it. Don't hear much about it, but it's one of the best bear movies ever, and that's The Prophecy. Talia Shire's in this. Excellent movie. A lot of fun. Great special effects. I highly recommend Prophecy. William Shatner and Kingdom of the Spiders. This was a fun one. And I know there's a Blu-ray release out on this, but I'm happy with this DVD. It's okay. Good special features. And then the Australian classic Long Weekend. It's a slow burn, but a very good film. Nature Run Amuck film. Now this is an example. It should probably be in science fiction, but I just, from a standpoint of making room for stuff, I moved Mimic. This is the 3-film Mimic set. I got it in Nature Run Amuck, but I'm playing loose and fast with categories here. One of my favorite Nature Run Amuck films of all time is Mosquito. This is another one I think everybody should have in their collection. Then we've got a crazy Korean film, Nazilla. It's unbelievable. This huge rat. It's silly. Next up is The Nest, a Scream Factory release. It's got an audio commentary with the director. And then I've got a double feature of Open Water and Open Water 2. These are two good films I enjoyed. And the second one I did not enjoy as much. I enjoyed the first one more. But yeah, that's Open Water 1 and 2. Another excellent film that just came out is The Reef. I thought the ending was a little over the top, but okay. I still liked it a lot. Here's a Code Red double feature of Sasquatch and Encounter with the Unknown. And of course, Counter with the Unknown has the, I guess it's the Rod Steiger did the narration, which is just kind of its claim to fame. Here's I think this is an IFC release of Stung. It's okay. And this release was The Shallows. It's okay. Not great. Here's the Blu-ray double feature release for Tentacles and Reptilicus. And then a burn-on-demand release of Willard. Like I say, I gotta upgrade that. Here's an underrated classic, Charles Bronson and the White Buffalo. Love this film. If you haven't seen White Buffalo, do yourself a favor and pick up this Kino release. It's excellent. And I did a separate review of this, I don't know, the last month. She Shall Show, The Killer Snakes. This film was batshit crazy. Yeah. Highly recommend this. And again, playing loose and fast with the genres. Planet of the Apes. And here's the Legacy Collection of Planet of the Apes. 5-disc set. Very, very nice, compact set. I just finished watching this for this month's of science fiction films back. So I've been kind of working my way through that. Planet of the Apes, the TV show, back from 1970s. The show only ran 1 year, like 15 episodes. And I think at the time, people were just getting Planet of the Apes out. A little like, kind of like the zombie thing going on right now. Rise of the Planet of the Apes. And finally, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I have not seen the new film yet, but I do plan to do that in the next week, and I'll probably post a review of my thoughts on that film. So there it is. That is my loosely assigned genre of animals run amok. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.